Yo, what's up guys? Erica here from Highway 49RC. It's been like 3 months. I'm sorry about that. I needed a grippy sock vacation, which wasn't fun. I really would not recommend it. But with that aside, we are getting back to the Rocket Rustler build. You guys have been loving it. Thank you so much for the support on the series. If you're unfamiliar, we're doing a tribute build to the Mythbusters JATO rocket car. Last time on the build, we got our electronics all in there. We got our motor mount made, servo mounts made, and in between episodes, I installed the SpeedGems Pro Chrominum motor that we rebuilt a couple months ago at this point. And this thing is running like a champ. I posted some shorts on YouTube and some reels on Instagram of it running. This thing is a lot of fun to drive around, but that's not what we're here to do today. Our main focus for today's episode is going to be the body. This is a Red Cat Racing 1964 Chevy Impala body shell. Body shell? Did I just call it a body shell? That's so, like, European of me. Anyway, let's put it on the bench, tear into it, and see what the kit's got to offer. Okay, first up, looks like we got a bag of decals, both chrome decals, looks like some emblems, and some window masks. So that's perfect, because I'm going to be masking out the windows. We've got an interior, I think is what this is supposed to be. Like some seats or something like that, and a dashboard. But I'm not going to be using this in our assembly today. We've got the top piece of the body. And the two sides. So obviously it's 3 pieces. And we're going to have to assemble them together. Now the thing that's interesting is that there are no real screw holes for this. So at first I was very confused as to how exactly you're supposed to get these side panels attached. Turns out double-sided sticky tape. Yep, apparently that's what people do here. So that's going to be interesting. And then what else have we got in here? We've got a bunch of chrome greeblies and doodads and thingamawhoppers. And what's this? This looks like a front and rear bumper and some dash pieces, looks like. So that's interesting, and that's all we've got. Now, as far as paint goes, the Mythbusters Chevy Impala was dark green and white. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but hey, it was definitely dark green and white. So what have I got? Oh yeah. Dark green Tamiya PS9 paint, some white, and some lame flake to put under the dark green just to make things a little bit nicer. I know that their whole build was extremely ratty, and I'm not going to replicate the rattiness per se, but I'm not going to put a ton of time into making this the fanciest body in the world. Does that make sense? I hope so. With that, let's get everything cleaned up, masked, and ready to paint. Alright, so I got the body masked off. It's not the fanciest mask job I've ever done. I decided to just go with masking tape instead of trying liquid mask on this, because I was like, you know what, this is a 2-tone paint job, it's quick and dirty, let's just get her done. So with that, let's head outside and shoot some paint. Alright guys, paint dried nice and fast. It is a super warm day here in Cali, so that was a real pleasure. I'm going to pull the window masks off now. I was thinking about adding some smoke to the windows, but let's see how it looks after we get these masks off. And jury says, not bad. Not bad. Lines aren't perfect. Not that I expected them to be for a masking tape mask job. There's a little bit of overspray there. There's a little bit of bleed there. A little bit of bleed and overspray there. This line's a little rough. You know, I'm just nitpicking here, but I think I'm going to go spray some smoke on this real quick, so I'll be back, and then we'll start putting this thing together. Okay, folks, window tint is done. Turned out okay. I always forget that window tint doesn't like me very much. I ended up with that mess in this corner. Yeah, you really got to spray it on thin, which I tried to do, but hey, sometimes that happens. But it is time for me to peel off the protective film, see how this thing looks. Oh yeah. Look at that shimmer, that shimmery sparkle. That is nice. Some of these paint lines are going to get covered up with chrome tape, or chrome decals. So those will get hidden, hide some crimes a little bit. Not bad. This thing is going to look gorgeous in the sunshine for sure. There are all the parts laid out. All the clear film is off, and man, they look pretty. Oh yeah, looking very, very nice indeed. The next big task for me is to figure out how to put this all together. I've got a whole pile of chrome parts here. Bumpers, grills, all sorts of knickknacks and dealy bobs. And then this is all getting put together with double-sided sticky tape, basically servo tape. Okay, progress update, guys. I've got the side panels, the front and the rear panel all attached. I ended up using this Scotch mount tape. Basically servo tape, it's, you know, gel tape, yada yada marketing nonsense. But it turned out overall fairly good. I am rather surprised, actually. Some of the lines on the front here really don't line up the best. But, it is what it is. Part of it is because the tape has thickness, so it kind of offsets the panels in a weird way. The grill is not attached yet. I just needed it there for positioning. But overall, this thing's looking sweet as anything. I also took my X-Acto blade and scraped the edges of the Lexan on all the pieces because it was really rough. There were some spots that had like big old burrs on them. So next up is all the chrome greeblies. Bumper stuff, I think there's windshield wipers, door handles, mirrors, all that jazz. So let's jump right back into it. Alright, so I've gotten all the little chrome bits on the body. It's looking very nice. Got my windshield wipers, my mirrors, all my chrome trim. Front bumper is also looking nice. I didn't put the light buckets in. I just left it as is because I'm not trying to be super picky about this body. But overall, it's looking pretty swanky. Oh yeah. There's the rear bumper for you. Got a little Chevy decal on there and some red in the lights. Okay, so now what needs to happen with the body is we need to put 6 of these bad boys on the top of it. Oh yeah, these are 6 A10-0 model rocket engines. I believe they're actually half A, so they're half as powerful as an A-size motor. The 10 is the impulse, and the 0 is the time delay for the parachute charge, which there is no parachute charge in these, which is why they're 0. The plan is there's going to be a stack of 3 tubes on top of here, like this, and there's going to be 2 rockets per tube. So the rear rocket, in theory, like this, the rear rocket should, in theory, ignite the front rocket once it's done burning. So I'm sorry I can't show you guys a picture of the Mythbusters actual rocket stack. I don't want to risk copyright infringement or anything like that. So you'll just have to bear with me on this one. If you want to look it up on Google, go for it. I've got some metal tubing that the rocket motors fit inside of absolutely perfectly. So we're going to stack up 3 of those, get them welded together, make a little frame for it. And then I'm also going to make a camera mount that comes off this corner, because the Mythbusters had a camera mount off this front corner of the vehicle looking backward, so you could really see the rockets when they go off. And I'm also going to put a camera in that same spot so you guys can see the rockets just the same. Okay folks, my rocket stack is done. It took me a day or 2 to put together, but it turned out really good. It looks almost identical to the Mythbusters' actual rocket stack on the top of their car. Got the holes for the rockets in the back, and I've got 3 little holes in the front there, as you can see, so that I can push the spent rocket cartridges out. As a quick demonstration, can put 2 rockets in the tubes, just like so. And then once they are fully burned, I can push out the empty cardboard tubes with a screwdriver, just like that, so that they don't get stuck in there. And of course, the other detail that I've got on the body finished is the camera mount. I've got a 1/4 inch size hole in there so I can put my GoPro on it. So from this vantage point,
the camera should have a great angle on the rockets actually burning and firing out the back. So as far as mounting the body goes, I've got the factory shock mount here in the front attached to the front shock tower. And for the rear, I used a mount that came with the body. I popped a couple holes in it and bolted it to the rear shock tower. So now I need to cut holes in the body for the body posts. Now, I know I've shown this tool before, but I love it, so I'm going to show it again. These are body post hole markers from Biddy Design. The way they work is they've got a magnet in this part that goes on the post, and they've got a second donut magnet that sticks on top. The way they work is you get the body right where you want it, and you take the magnet and stick it on the top of it, and it will magnetically attract to where the other magnet is under the body. And then from there, you can use a fine point Sharpie and mark through the hole, or use your body reamer and mark it and ream it out. And the wild thing about them is they're so strong that you can literally move the whole body without them going anywhere. Isn't that sweet? So now, while the body is mounted quite nicely, I do have to acknowledge that there's a bit of an issue here. There is certainly tire rub in the rear, but at least the tires fit into the wheel well a little bit. The front, however, is rubbing currently. Can't steer without rubbing the body, so either trim it or get different tires, right? Then also, I mean, I kind of accepted this from the get-go, but look at how much the wheels stick out. Yeah, kind of goofy. And I knew that that was going to be the case, but we're going to roll with it, okay? We're going to ignore that. We're just going to roll with it. So what I decided is that we're going to get new tires. These are some Kyosho tires that I found with some nice chrome rims. I figured that would suit the chrome on the body quite nicely. The issue is these can't be mounted onto this truck currently. In the rear it can be, but not in the front. The reason for that is because they use hexes. Just like every other modern RC tire, they use hexes. Now, why is that a problem? Because on our Rustler here, there are actually bearings set in the wheel rather than having a spindle shaft that rides on bearings. So the bearings are here rather than in the steering knuckle. So this spindle is currently stationary, and we need to fix that in order to run these wheels. So what I did is I sourced up some parts for a Traxxas Stampede here. I've got some different knuckles and different steering blocks, as well as 2 spindles, so that hopefully we can retrofit this with the Stampede parts in order to get a spindle that is riding on bearings, so that I can put a hex on the spindle and thus run the Kyosho tires. Check it out, guys. Wheels are mounted up. They look pretty sweet, I gotta admit. It definitely took a lot of fiddling to get the front ones to fit. First thing I had to do was drill out the rims a little bit, and I had to add a wheel nut spacer. You can see there's a little spacer there underneath the wheel nut. Then on the steering block, I had to shave down this top bit a little bit, the top of it there. I had to shave down the lower control arm so it wouldn't rub. This pin right here, I had to put in from the back side, because otherwise if it was going in this way, the tire would rub on it, or the wheel would rub. I also had to bore out the steering block hole on the bottom a little bit to get that pin to fit. And I happen to have the perfect steering king pins as well. I don't know how I had them, but I did, and they worked out perfect. Alright guys, Rocket Rustler is pretty much mechanically done. which is awesome. Got fresh tires on there. We rebuilt the suspension in the front a little bit, got the rocket stack made, the whole body painted. I mean, shoot, we got a lot done in this episode, guys. So, if you're excited for next episode, what we're going to be doing is all of the rocketry electronics. Yeah, so we're going to be fiddling with, like, getting the ignition systems working, the radio systems working. We're going to be playing with rockets. It's going to be a great time. So, I think that is about all I've got to say. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. Please do leave a big fat thumbs up if this does happen to be the first video that you have seen by me. Make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button for more Rocket Rustler awesomeness. If you are interested in chatting with fellow RC enthusiasts, head over to my Discord server. If you want to keep up with behind the scenes, Discord and my Instagram, which is highway49_RC, are both great places for that. And if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a channel member or supporting me on Patreon. So, with all that said, guys, thank you again so much for watching this episode of the Rocket Rustler build, and I will see y'all in the next one.